Hi everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DIYDreaming. Happy Monday to everyone. Today I'm going to show you a few craft projects that I have done that are sort of Valentine's-y, but really they just speak more to our hearts in relation to God instead of our hearts in relation to another human being. So they are about love and they are about hearts. And instead of using your traditional red and pink kind of colors, I decided to use neutral with black and white. So these are the stencils that we're going to be using, and I will tell you all about these and show you the projects. So as you hop on, say hi, let me know that this is working and that you're watching. If you're watching this on replay, let me know that too, so that I can kind of get an idea of when's going to be a good time for everyone. And so that's it. Let's just jump right in. Okay, so these are the two stencils that I'm using on the projects today. These are from a maker studio, and I reversed the phone so it's going the correct direction, and so I'll probably be a little confused for a few minutes until I get accustomed to it again. But this one right here says, delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. I love this. Psalm 37:4. And then this one, also from a maker studio, and I did put a link in the little description. Hey Sheila, thanks for watching. This one says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, Proverbs 3:5. So those are two great Old Testament verses that talk about our hearts. Interestingly enough, in another place in the Bible, it does say that our hearts, above all else, are, what does it say? Deceitfully wicked or something like that. So it all starts and ends in the heart. And anyways, I love these two stencils because I just love them. So I hope you like these too. Okay, so the first project I made is this one. And I hope that you guys remember, let me see if I can get it so it's not got a weird glare. From last week when I went to my local Goodwill and I got all that good stuff, I bought this picture frame there for 99 cents. And it did have a few little dings on it, which I fixed with a Sharpie marker. You guys, you don't need to repaint a whole picture frame. You can just fill in the little dings. Hey, Karen Ann. Okay, so what I did with this is I took the glass out and cleaned it really well. And there was a piece of cardboard in here behind, I don't know, something else. And I thought I was going to do a stencil on the front of the glass, and then I needed something light in the background so that you could read it. Can you guys read that? And how convenient that there happened to be some pretty light colored cardboard in there. So I just used what was there. So this whole project cost me 99 cents plus 2 or 3 cents worth of gel ink. Okay, so what I did is I cleaned the glass, put the frame back together. Then I just took this stencil, laid it on the glass, used some of this amazing stuff, which is called gel art ink. You guys, this is meant for porous surfaces like fabric and paper and that kind of thing, but you can use it on glass too, and it's not permanent. So when I'm tired of this Bible verse, I can clean that off. It's not permanent on glass, but it will be permanent if you use it on fabric and you heat set it. Okay, just to be clear. Hey Nancy, hey Sheila. So this, I just used this plain black gel art ink, which has been sold out for like the last month. So if you have been wanting some gel ink, hop on. I put a link in there and order yours today. So that was it, you guys. It took all of 3 seconds to do. It cost 99 cents. It is Valentine's-y-ish in that there's a heart on there, and you know, it's talking about trusting the Lord with all of your heart. And so that's the first project I wanted to show you. And you know, you may even have some picture frames hanging around your house. Hey Miranda, hey Janet, that you could use. So look around, go to a craft store, but don't buy a brand new frame for a project like this. Find something that that you can reuse or repurpose or give some new life. And I think I'll take pictures when I'm done, but I think this is absolutely beautiful. I love it. Okay, so then the next thing I did was this book. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love how this turned out too, although I did smudge it a little bit with my finger. Darn it. Oh well, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's homemade. Okay, so this one has this stencil on it that says, delight yourself in the Lord, also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. So I love that it's talking about us delighting in the Lord. So I want to tell you how I did this. This is a couple of steps, but they're not hard. And I'm just going to leave it right there because I think you can see it. Okay, so the first thing I did was I got some sheet music out. And this was, I don't remember if this was clarinet or what it was, but I was going to be Mod Podging it onto the spine of my book. And so I wanted it to kind of have a little bit of a leathery feel. And you can achieve that so easy. I know you won't really be able to tell looking at it here. But basically all I did was tear my sheet music out, cut it up into, so it was, straight lines. Then I took my good old matte Mod Podge and a foam brush, and I just covered one side of it really thick, let it dry. After you do that, do it on some protective table covering so that you don't Mod Podge this to your table. And do pick it up after you've done it and move it to another safe place so that you don't end up with whatever plastic tablecloth or whatever you might be using and the sheet music Mod Podged to it. I have actually had that happen. So, Karen, where do you find the sheet music? You've been looking all over for it. Well, that's such a good question. Okay, so every time I go to any thrift store, I always look for sheet music. And it's hidden, but it's there almost every time I'm looking. So at my local Goodwill, it's with the cookbooks and the instructional stuff way on the bottom shelf, the stuff that they think that nobody's going to want. And it can be any kind of sheet music. I bought some xylophone, some clarinet, some piano, some violin. I mean, it can be any kind of sheet music. And at my Goodwill, it's a couple of dollars for a book of it. So you can find it there, but maybe you or a good friend or a neighbor or somebody you know from work, maybe they had a child that was a trumpet player in the marching band in high school, or that took piano lessons or clarinet lessons or whatever, and they may still have some sheet music hanging around that hasn't been used for a few years and that they're just going to probably throw away. So ask. If you don't find it at your favorite thrift shop, ask around. Don't go buy some brand new. And then the last thing is you can, if you go online, you can download it. Like a lot of people at Etsy have downloads of sheet music. So you can do that too, and it's a couple of dollars. But I like to have all different kinds and colors of sheet music around, and so I always look for sheet music when I go to my favorite thrift store. So I hope I answered that question. Hey Sandy, how are you doing today? Okay, so then after it was dry, I just laid it on my book and sort of measured how tall and how thick I would want it. And then I applied Mod Podge on my book and I started pressing it down, and I did press it into this little depression that you kind of tend to have on books. Okay? And don't worry if a little bit of it smooshes out, because it dries clear. You could use the glossy Mod Podge if you wanted to, but I'm such in the habit of the matte, and my bottle is almost empty, so I'm gonna have to go buy some more. Okay, so I did the sheet music to make it look like this was the spine. Okay, and then I just took this stencil, laid it on my book, used some chalk art and a little spreader, and pushed it through, and ta-da! And I think it's absolutely lovely. I really like it. This doesn't say Valentine's Day to me, so I could leave it out all year long. Or I could make it and give it to a friend, you know, for almost any occasion. So where do you get books? Well, my husband was getting ready to do a donation of a ton of hardcover books that he had. And so I just grabbed all of them that had black. I took the little covers off to look to see what the books look like. And I just grabbed all of them that I could find that were black, all of them that were navy blue, and then there were a couple of red ones in the pile, and then I took the rest of it to Goodwill. So it really doesn't matter what the book is inside. Here I have one by Dobson that is Love Must Be Tough, and then this is The No Spin Zone by Bill O'Reilly. You just never know what kind of books my husband is going to have in the basement. So look around. Then if you don't have a hardcover book that you could use, you know, ask a friend. And then if you don't have a friend who has one that you could use, just go to your Goodwill, whatever thrift store you like, and they're not going to be more than about $3, okay? And I like to pick them that are just plain, okay? And they usually have the same color spine, but obviously you're going to want to cover up whatever it says on the back of it. Okay? And darn it, I really wish I would have waited a few more minutes to touch it to see if it was dry, because I smudged it right here, but oh well. It's pretty, don't you think? Okay, so then the last thing I want, oh, and tomorrow I have another book project to show you. I'll give you a little preview. This is made with a paperback book, and it happened to be a book that I did get at Goodwill. It was one of those, it was a book about pets. I can't think of what the name of it was. Oh, Chicken Soup for the Soul for Pet Lovers. And so when I opened it up, on this first page it said love. So anyways, I won't tell you too much about that. The last project I want to show you today is this little banner. And this also has the Delight Yourself in the Lord Bible verse stencil on it. And in case you don't know what in the heck this fabric is, hey Janet, you can use flowers and water. Really? Oh my goodness. Do you know what the ratio is? Okay, Janet says that you can make your own Mod Podge basically. And I have heard that you can do that with Elmer's glue and water. I haven't heard that you could do that with flour and water. But Janet, if you know what the ratio is, I would love it if you would put that in the comments for everyone to be able to see. Mod Podge is kind of expensive, so if you can make your own or get it some way less expensive, then that's great. Okay, so this fabric is, it's not fancy fabric from the fabric store. This is from my hardware store, and this is actually a painter's drop cloth, okay? It's been washed, so it's soft. Then I cut the shape out, and I tried to pull some of the strings on the side so it would have that little fringy look. I do notice now that it's slightly off center. Oh well, doesn't matter. It's homemade, right? And it's cute. Okay, so I used that same stencil, this one, and this same gel ink with the spreader to put it on there. And then to give the fabric some ability to stay straight, I just glued a piece of cardboard, a thin strip of cardboard inside. So easy. And then obviously I took some jute or twine or whatever, and some little black wood beads, and hot glued that on the back. And there you go. This cost me maybe 35 cents or something. And then of course the cost of the stencil, but shoot, these are reusable. Have I not? I think I have told you before, but I have so many new people here. Let me just tell you. So these stencils are from a company called A Maker Studio. and I'm an affiliate for them. So if you purchase, by the way, through any of the links that I put on this DIY Dreaming page, you're not going to ever pay any more. I'm just going to get a small commission on whatever you order. So these are mesh stencils, and they're adhesive, which makes them so easy to work with. They will stick to your project so that when you're applying your whatever it is, paint, ink, chalk, ceramic paint, they won't slide around. And you just take them to your sink and wash them off right after you're done using them, and then put them back on the backing that they came on. I always write with a Sharpie on the back of mine what the stencil was so I can kind of remember, and that says Delight and this says Delight. And then you can use them 25, 30, 35, I mean even more times than that, as long as you just take good care of them. So how did I get on that? I can't remember. Beverly says ho. I don't know what that means, but ho back to you. Anyways, those are the crafts that I wanted to show you today. They're a little Valentine's-y, but not full into it. So I'm going to do another day tomorrow of some projects that are Valentine's-y, but not completely full into it. And then I'm not sure what I will do the day after that. But I did want to let you know that I'm working on some things, trying to figure out what's going to work, okay? So have you guys ever seen these? So sorry, I knew my phone would start ringing. Have you guys ever seen these glass trivets from Dollar Tree? You can get them circles and squares, and they have this kind of bumpy surface on them. Well, today I played around with the new ceramic ink and some of the new stencils, and I stenciled the underneath of it with this bee and crown. And then I put it in the oven like this with the little feet up and the side that I stenciled up. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, if it was going to melt or if the feet would melt. So it was completely an experiment. So I'm going to do a little bit more to this, and then I'll be showing you how you can make some kind of cute glass pieces using stencils and ceramic ink on the back side of it, because this side is flat. So, gosh, I just have so many things coming up that I can't wait to show you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry I talked so long. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free, as always, to sprinkle to your social media if you like these projects. You have friends that like Bible verses or crafts with Bible verses. So that's it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you very soon, maybe even again today. Thanks.